Beavers trying to get the final 3 outs in this one. And this game's tied at 3. Turley on a line to left into the corner. Alisave's throw, not in time. The Beavers walk it off. It was crazy on Friday in the first meeting between these teams. And what does the 9th inning have in store today, with Louisville on top of Oregon State 6-3 for the right to stay here at the Men's College World Series another day? And can Iva Arquette, number 8 overall prospect in baseball, continue his one spectacular season with Oregon State?
It's not going to be easy, because Daniel Levitt just entered the ball game. I tell you what, he has had a really solid year. 33rd and a third innings pitched, 52 strikeouts and 33 and a third for him. 28th appearance of the year, and it's a lot of swing and miss too, guys. 49% swing and miss on the slider and 40% swing and miss, and even the fastball well above average too. About a 30% swing and miss on that fastball. Again, D1 average swing and miss on the fastball is 18%.
Hope lingers for Oregon State. It starts with Iva Arquette. First pitch swinging on a rope to left. That ball is back and gone. Leadoff home run, Arquette, and it's a 2-run ball game.
Well, that's one way to get the night started.
We got a new leader in the distance clubhouse. A bomb off the bat of Iva Arquette, 418 feet. And that'll get you going in the top of the 9th as the Beavers trying to steal this one late.
I guess they're not taking until they get a strike, huh?
No, clearly. You tell that kid he do whatever he wants.
It's only the 3rd home run given up by Wyatt Danielewicz this season. And with a Ben McDonald caliber rally cap on, for a Beaver fan, it's a 2-run game. And now Gavin Turley, the program's all-time leader in home runs. He's had a fabulous career in Corvallis. Kid from Midway, Utah. Has put on a ball-striking display over 5 days here in Omaha. Cut and a miss.
Isn't it amazing how on a day where the ball's carrying, a 2- or 3-run lead feels totally different than it's felt throughout the course of this tournament? All of a sudden it feels way more reachable than it would have the last few days.
Swing and a miss, 1-2 on Turley.
Definitely the most gettable day we've seen so far. I mean, the ball's bouncing pretty good.
With nobody out in the 9th. 1-2 to Turley. He stays alive. Back to the home run.
Sitting heater and gets one. You talk about right down Broadway, right in mid-thigh, and you think Danielewicz maybe thought, Ben, like you were saying, maybe they'll be taken, let's get ahead, and Iva Arquette said, no, sir.
That's some quick hands, too. That ball looked like it got on him for a while, and he just went after it, and when he did.
1-2. Turley, this one behind first and dumps it into right of base hit. Oregon State brings the tying run to the plate already with nobody out in the 9th inning.
Hey now.
The Cardinals fans can't watch right now. There's a little different mojo on each side of the field. This is why you get the barrel in the plane on plane early. He's sitting breaking ball because he swung and missed early in the count, but the bat's on plane early enough, and it ain't pretty, but square enough to doink it into right. And now the tying run comes to the plate.
In the form of Wilson Weber for an Oregon State team that prides itself on doing it the hard way all season. And the senior catcher takes up ball 1 and glares out at the mound.
And Weber's got some juice too now. 12 long balls on the year. See the 58 RBIs.
His confidence, Mitch Canham told us, has come out as this year's gone along. They told him, this is your team. This one spiked at a stop by Klein, but then he couldn't locate it. It trickled behind him, and Turley moves up into scoring position.
It looked like it almost hit him. Tough pitch for Klein to block with the ball being right at the feet of Weber. And no, it didn't hit him, but it almost did. Klein unable to keep it in front.
And now Matt Klein's going to go out to the mound. All right, so you're at 8 pitches only for Danielewicz, but the home run, flare, 2-strike single. Now you're behind 2-0. And Louisville's not messing around. They got action in the bullpen, and they got Tucker Bivin up, who we saw throw on Sunday.
Yeah. One of the more experienced arms on this staff, has held the closer role a few different times throughout the course of his career. So certainly comfortable finishing games. And Schweitzer, after a clean 1-2-3-8, gets the hook, and now things have gotten dicey.
Yeah, Bivin threw 50 pitches on Sunday.
He went the final 4 innings of the game in shutout fashion. And now he's trying to get ready if the cards turn to him. After the visit, 2-0 on Wilson Weber. And Dan McDonald is going to go right to Tucker Bivin.
He wants that righty-on-righty matchup. That's what he wants.
Well, it's all righties. So from here on out, he's going to like his matchup. But Danielewicz been really good, right? I mean, he's been one of the best arms, if not the best arm, out of the Cardinal bullpen all postseason. Just didn't have it here this afternoon, and now they're going to flip the ball to a guy that's been in this position a few times for the Cards, but never in an elimination game in the College World Series.
Tucker Bivin enters, one of their best arms, getting entrusted with this one, with Louisville up by 2 on Oregon State in the 9th in this elimination game in Omaha. Truly a must-win game. We say it all the time, but this is win or go home elimination game at the Men's College World Series. You win, you come back tomorrow afternoon against Coastal Carolina, and you would need to beat them twice to get to the championship series that starts on Saturday. So Wyatt Danielewicz comes out, eye black all over the place, rally caps for Dax Whitney, the Beavers and their fan base. And Tucker Bivin comes on in a 2-0 count against the cleanup man Wilson Weber, and it is nail-biting time in Omaha.
Yeah, Bivin 4 saves on the year, looking for number 5. Mostly a sinker slider guy. Occasional curveball, occasional changeup, but it's going to be heavy fastball, that sinking fastball, and the slider. And I tell you what, the slider has been the pitch for him. Opponents hitting just 115 off that breaking ball.
Schweitzer had the 8th, Danielewicz got the 9th, and now Bivin follows, and that's up 3-0. Wilson Weber has walked and has singled. These teams played a crazy one on Friday. Bivin's 3-0. Misses, and a 4-pitch walk puts the tying run aboard. Well, Berkey, let's start with this. How'd you feel about Schweitzer not coming back for the 9th inning?
Well, I think it's a similar situation to when these teams met the first time on Friday night, where Schweitzer had a scoreless 8th and then went out there in the 9th and gave out up a run to the top of the order that was due up in that inning. So I think my guess is their thinking, Ben, was let's give them a different look. Arquette and Turley had success off of him the last time.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Danielewicz and Bivin have been outstanding.
And now you got A.J. Singer squaring, but that's a ball with the corners racing in and momentum building for Oregon State.
See how Louisville plays this defensively. Do they just get an out? Do they try to get the lead out here? What's Monroe going to do? Monroe hanging. So anytime you see the third baseman just hanging there, that means the pitcher has the third base side. The first baseman obviously is going to take the first base out. But Tech Davis is very aggressive, and a left-handed first baseman, if you make a bad bunt, he can rip that thing to third and get the lead out.
Yeah, and he's closing the distance too from first base. Look at, he's going to be all the way into about 30 feet. But this is where you got to throw a strike. I mean, you just got to throw a strike right now and take your medicine. And if it's bunted hard enough back to you or to the first baseman, maybe you get the lead out over at third.
Yeah, and this is Bivin pitching for the second time in 3 days. Only done that a couple of times this year, and never after the length he gave on Sunday. 2-1. Singer bunts it foul, and it's 2-2.
You can see Singer really tried with the bat there to kind of slug it towards third base. Late, he made a move with the bat. Because Davis is so in his face, he's making sure he doesn't get it up the first base side, and with that, he just topped it.
You going to bunt him again here, 2-2?
Man, it's a tough call.
Yes,
probably not. I'd probably let him swing. Singer can run. I'd probably take my chances with him swinging the bat.
Tucker Bivins 2-2. Singer lines it into right field. King on the move, plays it on a hop. Oregon State's got him loaded in the ninth inning.
And how many times you see it? The hitter fails to get the bunt down. They gain just a little extra level of focus because they know how much they need to deliver for their team. And Singer gets a sinker that just doesn't do much and just carves it into right field. Eddie King lets it fall. And that's their first hit with runners in scoring position of the ballgame. Now, didn't score anybody because Turley played it so safe at second base.
But I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that's right.
Turley, Weber, and Singer aboard for now Tice Peterson. Junior DH swings through the first one from Bivin. Again, Bivin went the final 4 innings Sunday in an elimination game against Arizona. Shutout work, 5 hits, couple Ks, 53 pitches, like Ben said. Couple walks and a bunt single from Peterson. He lays off. Tucker Bivin's the most versatile piece, Dan McDonald was telling us, on the Louisville pitching staff. Team USA over the summer last year as a reliever. Berkey told you a lot of closing experience. Nobody out in the ninth inning. The 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
Kind of tugging that sinker, Ben. That's a couple times now we've seen him throw. You know, that sinker is almost always designed to be to the arm side. He keeps tugging it there to the glove side, away from these right-handed hitters.
Loaded up. Bivins 2-1. Peterson on the ground to short at Alisea through the wickets. Turley and Weber score. This game is tied.
Guys, I got to wonder here if the runner really affected Alisea. This is a tough one here. The ball and the runner kind of arrive at the same time, and Alisea just kind of whips it, Ben. I just don't think he got a great look at it. I think the runner affects him, and he ends up way inside the baseball. And what looked like might have been a 6-4-3 ends up nobody out in a tie ball game.
Boy, Louisville have been so good on defense.
Chaos at the Chuck. And now Dan McDonald's coming out. The first 5 have reached for the Beavers in the top of the 9th, and they pulled even. A 3 spot already, still nobody out, and Louisville is trying to slow this thing down.
I mean,
this ain't a pitching meeting, is it, Ben? This is a team meeting right here.
rally caps are working.
Pinch runner at second base.
And they're going to pull Tice Peterson, who's dealing with the shin splints, and go to Adam Haight to run at second. Well, this is what Oregon State has talked about, doing it the hard way. Mitch Canham said it again to us this morning. He said, this is how the story is supposed to be. He said, how much more joy will it bring our team and our fans if we come out of the cellar? Another elimination game. Well, how about down 3 in the 9th inning, backs against the wall? Still nobody out, and the batter is Jacob Craig, Jr., who had one of the heroic hits in this postseason run 2 weeks ago. Infield in, first pitch, and Craig swings through the breaking ball. Craig had a massive hit in the 9th inning in game 1 of the Super Regional against Florida State that tied it. That's the only other game, anything like this kind of 9th inning comeback for Oregon State all season. Craig told us the other day that moment is why you play the game, for big moments just like that one. Told us it was definitely the biggest moment of his career. Told us it was the loudest crowd he had ever heard in his life. And he said he took a deep breath and realized the stage he had. He's got another one here today. Bivens 0-2. Drips up and away. Two improbable 9th innings between these teams in a span of 5 days. 1-2. Craig takes.
Hey, leaning on that slider right now, Ben.
But with that wall on the left side, I mean by that wall of defense by Louisville, for me in this position right here, it's two-seam fastball and it's in. I got to create a ground ball, hopefully into that wall over there.
2-2. Strike 3 call, top of the zone. A strikeout for Bivens, and there's one away.
Oh, he leaned on that slider, and he finally got one there. And I mean, it was borderline right at the top of the zone. As a hitter, you think it's up. You see it up. Watch him bend this breaking ball. Could have been up. But a huge pitch and a huge result for Louisville here.
So one away. And now it's Carson McIntyre, who came on to hit for the left-hand hitting Easton Tull in the 6th inning. He is struck out and grounded out to short. And a move over to third. Seeing if anything's on there.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Safety certainly an option right here. This is where Ted Davis, you know, to me at first base, like, yeah, you might get a ground ball, but to cheat in and really be anticipating a safety squeeze is probably your primary role here.
Leaning on the breaking ball again to start out McIntyre with strike 1. Bivens deals. That's a strike, and it's 0-2.
Based on a couple of those top zone breaking balls, Ben. I know traditionally you're not trying to do that, but it's been successful. You see the Beaver hitters just can't pull the trigger at that one.
What scares me about elevated pitches, though, I mean, you're just trying to shove a ball deep enough. And when you elevate a ball in the zone, it gives the hitter an opportunity to push it deep enough for a sac fly.
Bivens deals. Up and away with a fastball at 96.
That might have been for a little show right there. Slider's been a pitch.
One, two. McIntyre chases, and there's 2 down.
Boy, big time, huh? This pitch here had a mind of its own, folks. The best breaking ball by Bivens by far. Throws a fastball up, just kind of changes the eye level a little bit, and right behind him with a really good sweeping breaking ball. That ball moved a lot right to left.
So now there's 2 outs and a deep breath for Tucker Biven, who will get the 9th man in the Beavers lineup. Cannon Reeder. Strikeout, fly out to center, ground ball to short, and he got hit by a pitch his last time last inning. First pitch in for a strike. Alex Alicea had the costly play on Peterson this inning. He will lead it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Right now tied at 6 in this elimination game. This is hard to do. Only 2 teams in the history of this event have overcome a 3-run deficit in the 9th inning to avoid elimination. LSU in 2008, USC in 1973.
Wow.
The 1-1. Reeder pops it up. Behind first, Davis backpedals, inning over. Tucker Biven picks up Alex Alicea and keeps this game tied at 6. Oregon State has battled all season. Their superstar shortstop, Iva Arquette, got it started. Gavin Turley and company tie it. And now Louisville bats in the bottom of the 9th. Alex Alicea, unfortunately, has been right in the middle of it.
Yeah, a couple double play balls where the runners have been right in front of the baseball, and both opportunities that were not finished end up allowing runs to score. This one right here, the inning would have still been alive, but instead of them losing the lead, they'd have held the lead by 1. You know, nobody feels worse than Alex Alicea, but what an opportunity here to make up for it, lead off the 9th, and give yourself a team to walk off the Beavers here by being a leadoff base runner.
Yeah, if he gets on and scores, nobody will remember the era.
Against Kellen Oaks, who got a double play in the 8th inning. And 95 for ball 1 to Alicea, who was squaring. What a swing by Iva Arquette, the biggest home run we've seen hit here at 418 feet. Alicea pulls back, and it's 2-0 from Oaks. Alicea is playing, as we've talked about all weekend and into this week, with, as Dan McDonald said, a jacked up thumb. He said Alicea personifies the spirit of this team. 2-1. A program that fought to get Louisville back to this stage. First trip back to Omaha since 2019. 3-1. Dan McDonald talked about rising from the valley. A program that missed 3 of 4 NCAA tournaments altogether. Something that seemed unfathomable for the Cards. Full count.
Well, I know you don't like how it ended up, but at the end of the day, you got a top ball game up to bat with the top of your order. I think if the game when the game started, the Cardinals would have taken that opportunity. Now you got to cash in on it.
Just off the edge, ball 4. Wow. What a take by Alex Alicea, who atones and works a leadoff walk.
And this ball's off. Casey Moser has had a heck of a day behind the plate today. It's a breaking ball that just doesn't quite get back to the corner bin, and that's the right call, as this one kind of wraps around the edge but never actually gets back to it. And here you go. Leadoff man on in the bottom of the 9th, tie ball game.
And now you got options at this part of the lineup with Alicea on and Lucas Moore, all his speed and the way he handles a bat in the box. 33 bags you see for Alex Alicea.
Yeah, I think Lucas Moore bunts here, don't you, Ben? You got to be able, you got to make them pick the ball up and throw out the fastest guy on the field, and then you give the 2 hottest hitters in your lineup, or 3, Klein, Monroe, and King, a chance to win it for you.
Moore squares, pops it up. Long way to go for Weber and out of his reach. Nearly gifted to Oregon State.
That'll make your heart skip a beat if you're in the Louisville dugout.
From Lucas Moore, first team All-ACC sophomore center fielder. He's had a fabulous season this year. He squares, he pops up another.
Now Dan McDonald wants a timeout. He needs to chat with the center fielder. No, there's a lot of programs that work on bunting. None more than Louisville. Second in this field in sacrifice bunts behind only Coastal Carolina. What do you think, Ben? Think they keep it on?
I think so. You think he trusts him enough? I think he does.
I think he does. The other question is, again, he's probably not going to hit into a double play. But what you don't want is you fear the strikeout and the runner doesn't advance.
You got your big bats coming after Moore, of course. Matt Klein, catcher, captain in the 3 spot, and then Jake Monroe swinging probably the hottest bat for Louisville in the cleanup spot. So is it still on for Lucas Moore on an 0-2 from Kellen Oaks? The pitch, he swings and chops it just foul.
That was almost a little slash for a second and third situation right there.
That had a little Ichiro on it right there, just a rocket down the third baseline that just missed.
Tension caked all over this 9th inning again. Moore lines one down the left field line, and it tails foul. And you said it had some Ichiro. That's what Dan McDonald said to us the other day, that's something Lucas Moore practices.
A little backside slash, almost a grounder. Now this time a line drive.
Getting a little hairy with the feeding fastball.
I was about to say.
Like a breaking ball down, but a breaking ball down allows the runner at first base out of say it, and that's the problem.
0-2. Moore pokes it foul. He got a changeup at 91. And now they're going to say
wow.
catcher's interference on Wilson Weber.
No way.
So from a 2-strike count, Moore battling, he gets aboard, and the winning run is in scoring position.
That can happen when a hitter's letting the ball travel as much as Lucas Moore was right there. You just don't see a whole lot of that in Division I baseball. This thing, he lets it get so deep into the mid that it's almost being caught, and just, a no doubter.
Catcher's interference.
Wow. Mitch Canham, a former catcher in his own right, of course, 2-time national champ behind the plate for Oregon State, comes out to talk with Casey Moser. But for both you guys, I mean, that's just a product of the way Moore hits, right?
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's I think when you saw the previous 2 pitches, Ben, how late he swung on those 2, it doesn't shock me this happened, but he's hitting it literally out of the mid.
Yeah, he's letting it get as deep as he can. And why wouldn't you? I mean, you got to respect the breaking ball. You got 2 strikes on you, and just trying to shoot it the other way. All right, how many sacrifice bunts on the year for Matt Klein?
Hold, please.
Let's get the interns on it.
Zero.
None, huh?
Oregon State is challenging the call of catcher's interference. The previous play is under video review. It's confirmed there is catcher's interference. Oregon State will lose the challenge if it has 1 challenge left.
I feel like we've seen so much more of it in recent years, too, with the way catchers are trying to steal strikes a little bit lower in the zone, maybe closer to home plate. That number, when you measure where catchers set up, has changed the last few years.
You got to be bunting here, right, Berkey?
I would think.
Even though he doesn't have one this year, you got to do it. Now, if you're Oregon State, what are you going to put on right here?
Some sort of crash play, right?
Yeah,
either the wheel.
If you can say, is the wheel play on here? Probably going to get a pick behind the runner first at second, and maybe put the wheel play on.
Louisville fans have been taken on a roller coaster that now leads to Matt Klein. Again, the guy who missed about 2 months with a broken bone in his wrist. And a few days later, Dan McDonnell had a captain's meeting with the 5 captains, Klein one of them. And at the end of it, Dan McDonnell took out his phone and showed Matt Klein who Warren Morris is. Hit the most famous home run in this event to walk off a national championship. Warren Morris had missed 42 games with a broken hamate bone, only to return, eventually swing, and eventually do that.
Only home run he hit that year, Warren Morris.
Incredible story. Well, here's Matt Klein right in the middle of something at the CWS.
With his dad, Scott, hardly able to watch. Klein does square, bunts it in front of home plate off the glove of Oaks. And they're loaded with nobody out.
Man, this has been a wild 9th inning, hasn't it?
Now, let me ask you something. If he catches it and throws it to first base, are you walking Monroe anyway?
Yes.
So it doesn't feel quite as big as if this game was not tied, but it just more another example of the pressure that's out there on the field right now. And now you got to deal with Monroe and King. Well, he somehow try to post a 0.
He just picked his head up just enough, and the ball hits in the tip of the glove.
And so Rich Dorman, the pitching coach, makes the walk out to the mound for Kellen Oaks, who's had 17 pitches. There is action in the Beavers bullpen.
Is it not surprising they didn't run some sort of action to try to keep the runner from going to third? I mean, they basically played that one just straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. I really thought we were going to get a pick behind the runner at second like you typically do. Try to keep him closer to the bag and then maybe try to put the wheel play on and get that lead out over third.
And look who's coming in. Zach Edwards, a freshman who hadn't thrown in more than a month before he pitched on Sunday against Coastal Carolina. He looked nasty. So all of a sudden, the freshman is tasked with saving Oregon State's season. He enters into a bases-loaded, no-out spot in a tie game in this elimination game in Omaha. This bottom of the 9th inning in a wild one as we welcome you back to Omaha, Nebraska in the Men's College World Series. Ben McDonald, Chris Burke, Mike Monaco with you upstairs. These two teams, 2 times in 5 days, have played games that are practically inexplicable.
Yeah, there's been a lot of action. That's very entertaining. We've had fun. I don't know if the 2 skippers are enjoying the defense, but how about bringing a freshman in this situation, Ben?
This is a huge ask. I mean, nearly an impossible ask to bring a freshman in, bases loaded, nobody out, and ask him to get out of this jam right here. There's the numbers on the year. He's got a 6 ERA. Now, he can strike you out. 21 strikeouts. It's big-time stuff. And we saw it the other day against Coastal. 25 pitches. It was some big-time stuff, and he's going to need every bit of it to get out of this one.
Against Jake Monroe, Louisville's perhaps hottest hitter. First pitch up high from Edwards at 98, who, again, hadn't pitched in more than a month. Mitch Canham told us this morning that yesterday in practice, they used Edwards' outing as an example to the team of staying ready. Well, this would be Herculean from Edwards. Monroe cuts through a filthy tight breaking ball. Monroe had a 2-run shot in the third. Junior college transfer who was just craving an opportunity out of high school, he told us. 3 years later, he got it with the Cards at the D1 level. The 1-1. Monroe chops it foul, and it's 1-2. Can Louisville return the favor to Oregon State after their zany one on Friday night? Speed at third with Alisea.
Well, if he could take 98 now and get right above the top of the zone.
1-2. Good take by Monroe.
Big time take right there. We talk about how polished Monroe is at letting the ball travel. Even with the guy throwing 98 miles an hour, he does not look sped up.
With Jake Monroe's family watching here on the biggest possible stage in Omaha. Edwards 2-2. Is strike 3 called, and there's one away.
Well, I'm telling you what, you can't throw a better breaking ball than that right there. That's knocking a little paint right off the outside part of the plate.
So there's one down, and Eddie chants ring out for Eddie King. Dan McDonald pointed at Eddie King a couple of months ago and said, this is your time to pick us up, when Louisville was dealing with injuries. Now he can save their season. First pitch swinging, fouled off. Eddie King got serenaded with chants of his first name during the Super Regionals back in Louisville. Eddie said it means everything to me. He's been here for all the ups and downs for the Cards. Edwards 0-1. Blocked by Weber. What a stop behind the plate. Wow. Speaking of saving a season.
Gotta have it. You gotta be able to spin that breaking ball with the conviction to get a swing and a miss, and you gotta trust your catcher. One knee down, get around that thing just enough, Ben, to keep that one in play.
It wasn't perfect, but it worked. And now again, that's the danger with one knee, right? Being able to move laterally.
Zach Edwards ready with a 1-1 that sails 2-1 on Eddie King. Eddie's family here watching. They have seen the journey. It's included injuries at times, including his freshman season in 22 and at the beginning of this year when he got off to a slow start. But now he's been raking recently. 2-1. Eddie King skies it to center. Reeder backs up. That is plenty deep. Alisea tags to the plate. He scores, and Louisville lives. Eddie King is the hero, and there might not be a bigger exhale at this event than the one from Alex Alisea at home plate. Down to Danny.
Eddie King Jr., how's your heart rate right now?
It's pretty high up there. That was probably one of the biggest at-bats of my career, so I just wanted to come through, try to be simple. I don't have to get a base hit right there, so I just try to move the ball.
Well, that hit keeps your team in Omaha another day. How do you describe the fight in the Cardinals?
Like I said a lot of times before, this team is special. You know, we get knocked down, but we get right back up. So we just got to keep continuing to do that.
I saw you talking to Jake Monroe before your at-bat. What did he tell you?
I was asking him how the slider was moving, but you know, we relayed pitches and like how movements and all that stuff to the other hitters. So you know, it was just being a good teammate talking to me.
What does it sound like hearing an entire crowd here chant your name?
It's amazing, you know, even from the start of the Super Regionals, that's where it really started, but it's just amazing. It's something special, and I'm so glad I get to come through for Card Nation.
How good does it feel to stay one more day in Omaha and play for a title?
It's amazing, you know, one step closer, you know, so just keep fighting to advance.
Congratulations, go celebrate.
Thank you, thank you.
Mike.
Danny, thank you. Great stuff with Eddie King. Fitting that he's the one to keep Louisville in Omaha.